Hi, my name is Brian Kelly. I'm the gardener here in the Rose Garden in the National Botanic Gardens in Glasnevin, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our rose garden. It was opened in 1958, and the design that we see of paths is pretty much as it was then. As you come over the bridge, over the Tolka, on the left hand side are hybrid teas, on the right hand side floribunda roses, and along the wall we have our climbers, and through the pillars also. Now the difference between hybrid teas and floribundas is as such that teas were developed to produce a single bloom, which we have here. It was to be a large bloom, long petaled and scented. And the floribunda, which arrived later, was bred to produce a cluster of blooms. They were smaller in size and unscented in general. So that's the main difference. Now here in the gardens, the maintenance program begins in late winter when we prune all the roses that you see here. So our teas and floribundas are pruned pretty much the same as each other. And that is, we will reduce them to 8 to 10 inches to an outward facing bud. We'll remove any dead, diseased or damaged wood. We'll try and keep an open centre on the plant, and that's to allow air circulation. Now the reason we want good air circulation through the roses is to help control disease, because the worst diseases of roses are black spot and mildew, and these can come about with bad air circulation. So we have examples here of what those diseases are. And this is powdery mildew. This is how it manifests itself. This white powdery substance on the leaves. It's quite unsightly. Comes about mainly because the roots are dry and a humid air. But it's a little different from the black spot, which everybody will have on their roses, because everybody's roses get black spot. They are very vulnerable to it, very prone to it, and it shows itself with these little black dots. After a while, the leaves will yellow, then they'll fall off, and over time, the vigor of the plant will be reduced. And if your plant vigor is reduced, your blooms aren't as good as they should be, and the health of your plant is suffering. So what can we do about that? Well, air circulation. We'll put a mulch down in spring, and then a well-fed plant has a much better chance of resisting disease. So the other thing that happens is we spray. So here at the gardens we have a feeding program and a spraying program. So we will feed with a rose feed every month, basically, depending on what we're feeding. And we will have a spray program of every 2 weeks. So the spray, we spray for green fly with a pesticide. It's an organic product we use. And the product for the mildew and the black spot is a basic over-the-counter product available from any garden centre. So you should be able to access it. There are organic mixes that you can get made up with baking soda. Again, those ingredients, recipes are available on the internet. They do work to some effect. Now, the rest of the time, during the summer, the hard work is done, the pruning's done, and we're enjoying the blooms. And one of the major jobs during the summer is deadheading. So, this is the hybrid tea that I was showing you. So deadheading the hybrid tea is relatively straightforward. Secateurs, nice and sharp, no breaking off of roses or bending them or twisting them. That allows disease in. So a nice clean cut just above the second leaf. That's it, job done. Take the bloom away, put it in the compost bin or in the bin. The floribundas, however, are slightly different because they produce their flowers in clusters. What generally happens is the center flower in the cluster will open and fade first. So what happens here is we will remove, here we have one, the center blossom, There we go. And this gives time then for the outer blossoms to open up fully and to display themselves as best they can. So one of the big questions that people ask us when they come into the gardens, aside from feeding and spraying, is how do we propagate roses? Well, all of these roses and our climbers can be propagated at this time of the summer. So mid-July through to mid-August is a great time to take cuttings of roses. And to take cuttings of roses, I have some here. You simply take a length, 8 to 10 inches. If you don't have that length, take something smaller, maybe pencil thick. And to prepare it, we'll tear off these bottom leaves or snip them off. We'll leave the top too. It's a thorny guy, this. And just nice clean cut above a leaf. And we have a clean cut below a leaf. And then we have a mix made here of half peat, half sand. So again, available down the garden centre. Straightforward peat. You can do it with compost, but no need. And a dry horticultural sand. So 50-50 mixed together. We've soaked it well, and now we're ready to put the cutting in. So just use your pencil to make a little hole down the side of the pot. Place it in. Firm it in gently. Give it another little sprinkle with the watering can, and most importantly, label it. So the name and the date. And then you put that cutting into a glass house if you have it, or just against a wall, somewhere out of the wind where it can't get damaged. And in the next 2 months or thereabouts, you should have roots developed. You can pot those on in the autumn, and next year you'll have nice plants again to share out to your friends. So that's basically what happens here in the rose garden. We're open every day of the year bar Christmas, and we'd be delighted if you came down. We're available to take any questions you have about your garden or your roses, and we'd be delighted to see you. Thank you.